Okay, we're good.
Well, you gotta start this off.
Yeah. Oh, straight up.
Let's go back to that series.
There you go.
What you gotta do?
There you go. Boom,
Like
bada
something
boom.
cipher with the microphone.
I know, right? You're good to go. Sleep time's over. Kevin the Catalyst, DJ Zach Moore, Season 5, Episode 8.
No.
Episode 7.
Right off the bat. Like
No,
me.
it is 8.
No.
Episode
Oh,
7 is
this,
sequel, right?
this is to start off the debate. We're debating on what episode this is.
Episode 7?
We don't know because we didn't put that up yet.
Yeah, because it's, anyway.
We're wasting time, bro.
I like beef, bro. I like beef.
Is
Is
an
the
episode.
name of an episode.
Okay, stuff happening on Saturday.
Yeah.
UH game. We got this big Yahoo fight.
Yeah, go Bulls, bro.
So,
Go Bulls, I
that's
said.
it. Freak you guys. Down the cameras. That's right. We're on Facebook Live.
Freaking guys.
Freaking guys, bro. There it is.
Watching, bro.
You got everybody in there.
Everybody.
You take this forever.
Forever,
Can't even
bro.
get the shot. Okay, Illnomadic here. So, he really is. There he is, right there. Okay. Well, Facebook Live is all jam up, but then I'm not even.
It's recorded, right? So you can watch it later.
We're just gonna stare at it. So we got Yahoo going on Saturdays, the Yahoo fight. We're gonna just go into this Mayweather McGregor. Our first ever panel discussion.
Yeah.
With the gentlemen we have first of all the official MMA analyst to the stars. Now we put that out there.
Is it right here?
No, yeah, look it up.
Either way, yeah, because Facebook Live, you know,
Whichever is the official one.
That's the one that's right down.
There we go. Facebook Live, you're just like peeping in. So we put that out there on the episode, and you emailed saying, "Hey,
I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I'm your guy."
Yeah.
So we have christened you.
I kind of was hoping that you guys would have like a few guys that wanted to be the guy, and we could like battle it out.
That
Either
would have
through
been
like trivia or maybe
Oh.
physical.
What about
Physical.
thumb wrestling?
Or yeah,
thumb rumble.
because I was ready for it all,
Right.
and that's what I want you guys to understand.
Dude, we can still do that
We
then.
I'm
can.
down.
Because he lost his wrestling title.
So therefore, we can do that.
You're the host, so it doesn't matter.
We have a title for the wrestling trivia.
Yeah.
We have the MMA
Listen,
trivia.
I want to put this
Jesse.
out there, right? If anyone wants to challenge and become the official MMA guy,
MMA trivia.
and yeah, let's.
So
let's
you're the
battle. Let's do
interim
it.
champion.
So right now,
Yes.
yeah, you know,
We've
I'm holding
handed
the
you the
paper
title.
belt. I'm holding the paper belt
Call
only
anybody
because
else.
the challengers haven't
Right,
stepped
haven't
up.
stepped up. Right.
That's why.
Much like Vince
I like
McMahon
that.
gave Cactus Jack the hardcore championship. We're giving.
Oh, there you go.
That makes more
I
sense.
like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
So any takers, please email us at sleeptimesover@gmail.
Bring it.
And we're down for trivia.
There you go.
I will hold the camera.
And also on the panel is
And also on the panel, we got IA. He's
Yes.
back. Boxing. We'll make you the unofficial boxing analyst. We haven't talked about
and
that.
he's the box analyst and the
Class.
movie
And what
movie
are we
star to the star.
Oh, the movie. That's right. The Hollywood
Hey.
Reporter.
Hollywood
Oh.
Reporter, bro. That's his
You
OG
know,
title.
Thank you.
You have too many titles. I can't keep track of things. But
Three
yes,
titles,
the
man.
Hollywood gossip
Kind of like
guy.
Floyd Mayweather.
No, there you go. Oh, there you go.
Segues, see, segues,
I'm
everyone.
just happy his boxing guy's not coming after the MMA title because, I mean, he's got real pedigree and I don't know if I could step up.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
I'll tell you what.
it's in the blood, but I'm a
It
lover,
is.
not a fighter.
There we go. See.
But it could come out.
Yeah, it's there.
I'm not
Solid
a bad
matter.
test.
So let's get right to this, okay? Now, I'll direct this to both of you right off the bat. When this finally was saying official, this was gone down. Initial thoughts. Initial thoughts on this whole fiasco, this whole
I can't believe that son of a bitch pulled it off.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been following Conor just because being an MMA fan for, 4 years or whatever now.
Yeah.
Since he first popped up on the scene, and there's no way 4 years ago anyone would believe that he's going to fight Floyd Mayweather
Right.
in an actual boxing match, bring Floyd out of retirement for his 50th
50th,
fight,
that's a good one, yeah.
fight Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I think
That's crazy.
I think it was manifested in his mind though.
It was. I mean, that's the crazy thing. I don't know the boxing thing, but he did predict. He's like, I'm going to take this whole thing over. Entertainment, his famous quote, we're here to take over. We're not here to take part, we're here to take over. But, yeah, I was shocked. And I was just like surprised. I was like, he actually did it because they were talking about it.
Yeah.
But to actually sign the contract and get the fight done, I couldn't believe it happened.
That was
It's
still shocking. Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I think first of all, we should look at Conor's persistence, and with today's youth and next generation, you know, everybody's always talking about the lazy, like the older generation saying, oh, this generation is so lazy.
The entitlement generation.
Right.
Can we please direct them, this next generation? Look at Conor McGregor. He manifested, he told himself that, believed in himself so much, and he went out and he got it. Kids,
Right.
if you want something that bad,
Yeah.
do the Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but other than that, I think that it's a terrible fight. It's terrible for boxing. It's terrible for it's such just the sport of boxing, just the integrity. You know, what is, you know, Muhammad Ali must be rolling in his grave right now. Because if you think about it, Conor McGregor wins in 3 ways. If he wins the fight, you know, he wins. He that whole argument, MMA over boxing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He you know, with his mouth, he's gonna run with it. We're better, we're better, we're better. Dana White's gonna, you know, be all over that.
Right.
2, he loses, but he still wins because the money he's gonna be making, he could ride off into the sunset, be like, hey, screw you guys, I'm done. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna go, you know, live a happy life with my family, raise my son. I have this college tuition ready. 3, he loses, but he still is a viable opponent. He does well. He doesn't get knocked out. He doesn't get embarrassed. He does okay, but he loses. He wins again.
Right.
Because now he can say that MMA fighters can keep up with boxers.
Right.
And Floyd Mayweather is by far one of the best boxers in history.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, unless he comes out and gets like knocked out in the first round, or just gets worked and looks like a clown, and
Something
that's
embarrassing.
the only way. And even then, he's still walking away with $100 million.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if I blame
Yeah.
Floyd for this, but I think it's just because being raised in the boxing scene and being raised under, you know, my dad, you know, a world champion boxer, and seeing what a boxer has to go through,
Yeah.
you know, with all the politics, you know, a fighter in general,
Right.
and what they have to put their lives through,
Yeah.
and you know, all these times where you're working your way up, you know, 3 months, 4 months to fight a champion and to get to that level, but then a champion pulls out, says he's hurt, or a champion waits for the last second and needs an opponent and says, calls you up in with a 2 weeks notice, hey, you want to fight for a world title? You got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
so with all those things going on, I mean, it just sucks for the integrity of the sport of boxing.
You know, I agree too, and from the MMA perspective, there's 2 sides to look at it. There was one great thing about the UFC. We all know that they're ripping off the fighters. That the fighters should be getting paid a lot more. They're a big corporation. They're probably pretty, I mean, at this point, you know, the Fertittas, they're the biggest gangsters of all time.
True.
You know, they like
Oh yeah.
built this organization up, barely paid the fighters, set up the structure, had these superstars, and just sold it for $4 billion. And rode off into the sunset with all these problems, USADA, and then this
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing with John Jones yesterday.
Ooh,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
crazy, dude. So
Oops.
crazy. But the one good thing about it from fans' perspective is the matchmaking. The best always have to fight the best, based on your merit, based on how well you did. You know, there was a few people that came out, they were popular, and they got fights because of their popularity, but it was always based on skill, right? And Conor has the skill, for sure, but the popularity, the talking, the trash talking, the hype, all of that is eclipsed that. So now it's become only about that. So now the UFC is almost like boxing in a sense, where only the biggest fights are going to get made, and only the fights that make sense financially are going to get made, not the best fighting the best. And the UFC motto was always the best fighting the best, and the UFC brand is the name, you know? And that, from the fighter's perspective, wasn't the greatest, but from the fans, it was pretty fun getting to see everyone have to fight each other. But now the McGregor name is bigger than the UFC.
It's all about personality. So.
Yeah.
So,
And I don't think he's going back to MMA.
and in that perspective also, and having wrestling fans here too, what do you think is a bigger event? Floyd and Conor's fight, or WrestleMania?
It's
I feel like
becoming
this.
equal.
I feel like this is like
It has to be
what they're
Floyd
headed.
Conor. I mean,
This is
internationally.
this is
International,
like WrestleMania,
yes,
kind
but
of thing.
they're leaning towards the personality-driven
Right.
way of thinking.
Yeah, it's about that. It's about the hype, the whole the tour, the world tour.
Exactly.
Get in the ring and talk smack. That's
Exactly.
It's old school wrestling.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's what Conor, that's why he's driven all of this fan base. And he's driven to another guy's fan base who's a talker as well. You put the two talkers together, that's what you got.
Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock.
Exactly.
But I mean, there is performance. Like, Conor had to perform
Right.
to get
To
to
get
this
here.
point.
Yeah. To
right.
win.
You know, even though he did lose once. But
Right.
this is a funny question, though. It's like, people give Conor, and, you know, I'm hoping, I don't know if this is your next question or whatever,
Yeah.
sorry to cut in, but I always root for the shock factor. Like, there's a part of me that wants to see Conor do something just so, to see the world get turned upside down, see Vegas go down, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes.
But realistically, you know, Floyd's got to do what he's got to do.
Yeah.
There's no way, but I forgot my original point, what I was saying. I got so excited thinking that
We're all
maybe
excited.
Conor could do something, dude.
Well, I'll pose a
I
question.
just saw the flames right now, burning down the city.
So I'll pose a question. I'll start with you first. As far as you guys are bringing up, like it's a boxing and MMA have kind of turned a corner here where if Conor was to win, what becomes the sport of boxing, for example? If with MMA being more personality driven, what's going to become the future for MMA? What's going to become the future of boxing? So I'll get to your answer at this. What in the future? What do you see with the personality driven MMA becoming the norm 5 years from
I think it is
now?
going that way anyway, even because of the financial stuff. And you guys know about the Muhammad Ali Act? And you know about the Muhammad Ali Act.
Oh, explain that to us.
It's basically where it's an act in boxing. Right now it says boxers, you can't be represented by the promoter. Like, the promoter can't be the manager. The promoter, you know, can't wear every hat basically.
Gotcha.
So in boxing you have a title fight. You have two guys that agree to that title fight. Then you have promoters bid on that fight to see who's going to put it on.
Oh, okay.
Right? UFC doesn't work like that. UFC manages, promotes, matchmakes, does everything. But that's technically illegal in boxing. But now MMA guys, they're trying to get the law expanded to include all combat athletes.
Wow.
And it's just a simple, you just have to reword it. It's not a whole new legislation. And this is going to happen in the next few
Right.
years. It's going to pretty much ruin UFC,
Right.
the current UFC model. Because the top MMA guys are going to be able to have other promoters bid on putting on their fights.
Gotcha.
And then
Like
just
Conor
like
can,
boxing is going to be WBO, WBA,
Right.
WBC, IBF.
which is, you know, probably better for the athletes, but as for fans, there's, you know, you have a problem. But it's been the same for boxing, what, last however long,
50 years.
you know? So is it like, and they're both kind of gangster industries. Boxing's
Oh,
kind of
indeed.
run by gangsters, and same
Definitely.
thing with
Definitely.
MMA, you know?
Definitely.
So I don't know, do you think it would ruin boxing?
Will we see
If
more
Conor
MMA
won.
boxing fights in the future?
I think that you're going to start seeing a lot more of this hybrid fighting. I mean, we all know that boxers going to MMA, you know, hasn't had the best results.
Yeah,
You know,
it
for
doesn't
example,
work that
James
way.
Tony
Yeah,
against Randy
that was
Couture.
Right.
But
That was
for
bad.
MMA fighters to go to boxing, I think because the money is there, because the UFC fighters, MMA fighters, you know, they want to get that kind of money. You know what I mean? They're gonna bring it over. You know, there's gonna be a lot of more hybrid fights. You know, especially with personalities. I mean, how can you deny it? How can you deny this Conor and Floyd fight because there's so much money involved? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the most
There's so much
mainstream,
hype.
But I mean, other than
This
so-
might be more hype than Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao.
I think it will.
Quite possibly.
But if you
will.
look at it, like, Conor is by far is the biggest draw in MMA, and then Floyd is by far the biggest draw in boxing. Who's second to Floyd right now? I mean, Canelo, maybe. Triple G Canelo, which is a great fight. I'm very excited about that. I'm looking probably more forward to
The
that.
next person. I
But
guess
they
would
do
have
what,
to
on 200,000 pay-per-view, 150,000. They don't do any more
be-
than
Your
that.
Floyd does $1 million.
Easily.
Right, so who's going to take over? Who's going to be
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the next MMA versus boxing?
Yeah.
I think it's just the timing of these two
It's the
people.
time, right? So it's going to be several years
You
down the
know,
line.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. You can see like some of these heavyweights coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not huge heavyweights.
Yeah.
So I could see like a John Jones going like up against like a Deontay Wilder or
I was thinking
Anthony
that
Joshua
the
or-
only one I think is like Joshua versus a heavyweight UFC guy.
John.
Stipe Miocic, the current UFC heavyweight champ, just talked about that. That'd be interesting. But I don't think it would be like a 4 million.
It wouldn't be the rounds of
or
this.
something like
Yeah.
that.
We gotta look at the personalities again.
Yeah.
I think it'd have to go back to the only other person in MMA who has that kind of draw like Conor McGregor would have to be John Jones.
Yeah,
Right.
who knows now?
Yeah. Well, with his current situation, I mean, he's gonna have to think of some.
I mean, if you look at the name guys, they're all
You
in
better
trouble.
start calling out some.
You got Brock is in trouble.
Be
You got
fighting
John Jones in
Russia.
trouble. I mean, who are you gonna pull out to get this kind of revenue as far as personalities?
Yeah. What's funny though, it has happened before. You guys know about the Muhammad Ali versus Aoki?
Oh yeah,
the
Aoki, yeah.
wrestler.
Yeah, the wrestler.
That was back in the 70s.
Rocky versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I know it was a movie. I know it was a movie.
Yeah, that's still
You ever fight a dinosaur,
versus
kid?
Bravo.
Yep.
Yep. But that was an interesting card because you also had Chuck Webber, who's a boxer, go up against Andre the Giant.
No way. On that same.
On that
card?
same card, they put this.
Oh, was it a real
like
fight?
freak
Or
show.
was it WW? I mean, was it?
That's what they were
Did they
saying.
really fight?
I think that
This is celebrity deathmatch coming.
it pretty much it is.
This is
well,
like celebrity
the backstory with
boxing
the Ali Inoki fight was Muhammad Ali was getting so pissed off at Inoki because Inoki never stood up. If you watch the fight, he's always crouched and he's always like because he's afraid he's gonna get knocked.
Yeah.
So they ended in a draw and it was like a total swash. It was a total waste of time.
Yeah.
So Muhammad, is that what we're gonna lead
That
up
was
to?
in a wrestling ring.
That was in a
So it
wrestling
was
ring.
like a wrestler versus a boxer.
The clear,
Ali
yeah.
gloves.
The show, yeah. Inoki had gloves.
It was almost like
Inoki had gloves.
Inoki had gloves and he's doing this the entire time. So we got rounds after rounds of this. And so is that what we're going to be headed? We're going to build up a big fight
Yeah.
and it's going to end up being a schmaz, which could possibly be Saturday.
No, I think it's gonna be exciting.
I think
it'll
so,
be more
yes.
exciting than Pacquiao.
I think the first
'Cause that
3
was-
rounds are gonna be exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because we're gonna be waiting for we're gonna be watching the chase. He's gonna.
Exactly.
What? Okay. So this is my biggest argument. I don't know if you're gonna lead into this, but one of my biggest arguments is people are saying that Conor McGregor is gonna knock out Floyd Mayweather. So
Wow.
So I tell people.
I just saw the flames again.
I tell people